Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today. If you will, like, share, comment on the post, and then we will be looking at Acts chapter 18, verse 4 today. And there are really two words here that I want us to really focus on as it describes Paul's work and how he went about doing things here in Corinth, and really not just in Corinth, but the way he went about his Christian walk in general. Verse 4 says he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and tried to persuade Jews and Greeks. Don't know if you've picked them out, the two words, but they are reasoned and persuade. Those are the two words I want us to think about today. As we look at this, we first of all see an important lesson here in Paul's life that every Sabbath, every Lord's Day, he was in the place of worship, worshiping the Lord, preaching, teaching, worshiping with others, using the gifts that God had given him for the kingdom. But then it says that while he was there, he reasoned in the synagogue. And let's talk about the word reasoned for just a moment. And these two words, and as Paul uses these, are examples for us of how we are to, I believe, conduct ourselves and how we should go about telling others the good news of Jesus Christ. First of all, again, is the word reason. Paul reasoned with them. What exactly does the word reasoned mean? Very simply, it means that Paul presented to the people a sound, well thought out, reasonable argument. Or maybe not, let's not even use the word argument, a well thought out presentation. And again, in a reasonable way. And again, the reason I want to drop that word argument is because I think the word itself, while it does indicate that this was a very serious conversation, it was not an argument. It wasn't that Paul was just blasting them. It wasn't that Paul was beating them over the head or, again, being argumentative. Paul was laying out some reasonable facts, trying to convince people to accept Christ, that Jesus was indeed the Son of God. And that is something that reasoning with people about faith, reasoning with people about Christ is something that I myself, and I think most of us, tend to find hard to do. Something that we are that passionate about, something that is that important to us. If we're not cautious, we can turn into a real knock-down, drag-out argument. Again, when you're telling someone that they're a sinner, that they're lost, and they need Jesus, it's going to be hard to do. I know a fellow, some of you know him as well, who was the fire marshal here and our fire inspector here in our town. And he told me one time about having to give people a form when he got done doing their inspection that said, "How did I do?" And they had to they would grade him on how he did. He said, I just go into a building where somebody spent $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 upgrading and remodeling to be able to open up a restaurant, and I tell them they got to spend $25,000 more on something for fire prevention. He said, how do you think I did? He said, there's just no good way to tell somebody, you think you can open next week, but no, you've got to spend another $25,000. Well, there's no good way to tell somebody they're a sinner. It's like trying to tell somebody to calm down. It just generally doesn't go over good. And so we have to think through carefully our words, think through carefully how we speak with people. And so Paul reasoned with them, and then it says he persuaded, tried to persuade them. He urged them. He pled with them. He begged them to make a decision. Tried to get them to move. And again, not in a conflict type setting, but trying to get them to make a decision. And he tried to persuade them. Again, probably any of you who have ever tried to talk to somebody about Christ and talk to them about being saved has dealt with it, well, I'll do it one day mindset. Well, I'm going to do it sometime. Paul was trying to persuade them, trying to get them to change their mind about Christ. And he did that by reasoning with them. And so these two words go together like a hand in a glove. We are to reason with people using a thoughtful, non-argumentative way, conversation about who Christ is, but then we do push. We try to persuade them to make a decision. And I think what happens sometimes for many of us is we only do one of the two. Why don't you get saved? You need to get right with God. We just really try on that persuasion thing. But we've not given them a reason to. We've not presented them the truths of Jesus Christ. We just want to persuade them. We want to make a decision now. But we've got to reason with them. We've got to give them a reason to do that. Or we'll reason with them. We'll tell them how good God is, and then never ask them to make a decision. And so we need to be, like Paul, be reasoning and persuasive as we tell people about the good news of Jesus Christ. And so let me encourage you today, as you go out, to be reasonable, reasoning with people, and persuasive. You have a great day, and I'll see you here tomorrow morning.